it's Melissa Whitaker. I'm the CEO and founder of Melissa Whitaker International. And I wanted to come to you today because it's the beginning of a new year. And as I've already started doing coaching for some of our sales professionals and also our small business entrepreneurs, the same question and frustration keeps arising or keeps coming up. I was doing all the things, everything that you've taught us or that, you encourage us and coach us on. And in some places I had unbelievable successes, they'd say. In other areas, I just got so frustrated because of the economy and because of tariffs and because, of all the things going on out in the world, let's say. Now, we talk about this in coaching. We can't blame outside things that we can't control. Okay, we can't do that. However, we can take a look and keep our pulse in the marketplace to see how we're going to navigate moving forward to still make sure that we are serving our clients at the highest level that we can, earning more business, still having really great profitable business, and making sure we're scaling and growing our business, right? Whether that is something that you own or you're a sales professional that works for an organization, our job is to make sure that we're performing and having great results, but in the way where it's serving our clients. So I wanted to come to you today because since this frustration came up quite a bit already in the first couple of weeks of this month, and I found that so many people were intrigued by, how do I differentiate myself, Melissa? I feel like we're all out there in the sales side trying to prospect, talk to our ideal clients, coming to them with in some cases, things that so many other people we're competing against may also have. This is what I'm hearing. Now, what I've narrowed down for some people, something I'm going to cover today, is what I see being a differentiator, let's say, for this coming new year. Have things changed a lot, even in the last year? Yes. Have there been some new frustrations on the sales side? Of course, yes. Has it been a little bit more than usual? I would say yes. Now, some of you may be saying, Melissa, I had a great year last year. I don't know what you're talking about. Well, honestly, great for you. I'm so excited for you because I didn't hear that as the norm for a lot of people out there, talking to clients and navigating the unknowns. So I'm so excited for you. For those of you who I've been speaking with who are frustrated, who have come to me in the last 2 weeks saying, just really at your wit's end. If you feel like you're at your wit's end, like, I don't know what else to do, I'm making sure that I'm having good activity. I'm having really good conversations. I'm going above and beyond for my clients or potential clients. And yet at the very end of the process or the stage, I get so frustrated that sometimes they go to someone else or they use my research, my effort, my work, and then just try to get more commodity transactional and maybe give my findings to someone else out there to try to get a lower price. I've heard it so many times. Now, in these coaching sessions, here's some things that I want to cover with you today on how you can be different going into the new year. And I know the buzz out there is all about AI and all the AI tools. And in some cases, some of you may be dealing with some AI agents, so to say, that may be doing some of the work. So let's address that. Okay, now, first of all, I want to say AI cannot replace you. It just can't. All right. Now, I know some companies out there are trying to do that, but I do not advise that to any of our clients because we still need the human connection. People really just thirst for and want and need still the emotional intelligence of the human connection. All right, there are certain things that AI is great for, right? How are we using the tools, which we'll talk about today? How are we utilizing it to our benefit in sales or small business ownership or small to mid-sized organizations? Let's talk about that. But I want to make sure we're clear. I do not advocate for AI taking over all of the responsibilities or taking over you and your sales process, okay? Because we do want to make sure that we can keep that connection, the building of relationships, and applying emotional intelligence. However, now with that being said, let's talk about a few things you can do, all right? I've got it here on the whiteboard here in my office. Different ways to differentiate. Now, one of the key things I've talked with many of our folks about is number one, are you selling you? Are you sharing how you are different? Because gang, I know that you might be like, oh, Melissa, I've heard that before. I've been asked that many times through my years and my profession. But I want to bring that back to you because I think we have forgotten that little thing about how we bring a different element to the table for everyone that we work with. So are you being clear on how you, being their account executive or being their sales professional, being their business advisor, how are you different than everyone else out there? Are you selling you? Because that is so critical, you guys. It's so critical, and you are unique. And if you're willing to give them the white glove approach and going above and beyond, are you showing them that? Are you sharing that with them and teaching them how to have proper expectations and teaching them how to be satisfied and letting them know how you're different? Come right out and say it. Well, one of the things that you receive by working with me is, here's how I'm different. Here's how I show up for you. Here's how I bring you education on a regular basis of letting you know what's new in our marketplace or what's new in our industry. I don't expect you to keep up on it. You're busy with your responsibilities. It is my job as the expert and the specialist in my field to constantly bring things new to you, to let you know what's going on, to let you know what's available, and to let you know how you could advance your business by these things that I'm sharing with you. That's one key area. Another one is, a lot of people will say too is, hey, listen, I do what I say I'm gonna do. I follow up well. I know a lot of times, a lot of our past clients or current clients who've come to us, I should say, who had other people they worked with before, they struggled with that. They perhaps had someone that was their sales professional or their account executive or account manager, and they would see them only once in a blue moon. Or they'd even call out and request things to them and never hear back. Or they only hear from that person when they're trying to sell them something. Sound familiar? How are you different? You want to bring that up. I'm proactively coming to you. I'm making sure that I can bring value to you and to your business on a regular basis because I care. That's emotional intelligence. That's connecting with them. That's showing them that you care. After, let's say, the sale is done, how are you cultivating the relationship? How are you different? Are you emphasizing that? That's number one. Number two, let's talk about AI. All right, I know it's all the buzz. Now, some people have good taste in their mouth about it. Some people do not in the coaching that I'm doing. I want to really share with you that it is a great tool as a tool. Now, I know you've heard probably some of the same things. People are saying, I use it for research. I use it for looking up businesses that I could speak with that are more of our ideal clients. Yes, that's all good, and please be utilizing it for that. I've heard a lot of people lately say, I'll go into it and really start refining my value proposition or my unique selling proposition. Good. I hope you're doing that. That's basic. Let's make sure we're doing that. But here's the thing, I want to make sure you're taking it to another level. Are you going in and utilizing AI to ask deeper questions, more specific questions that you can then show credibility in the marketplace? So how are you using AI? And are you focusing on vertical markets or industries that you know are either really needing your services, your products or services, and they're in your area of wherever you're selling or providing? What's the most prominent? How can you show up to be more of the expert? And how are you bringing them information? One of the things that I went over with some of our sales professionals that have personal coaching with me is I mentioned to them, like, are you going in and saying, what are the top challenges that the healthcare providers are experiencing in my zip code or my zip codes or across the US? It depends on where you cover, what you cover for your services, for you specifically, not necessarily your company. Or if you're a business owner, your company, right? But you want to be specific. What are the top challenges healthcare providers are experiencing in my marketplace with these zip codes or with these towns and states or whatever? Are you getting specific on that? Are you then building off of that and letting it come up with statistics and data and what's their biggest challenges in this specific area? And then are you adding to that and saying, what are the top benefits that I can bring to companies in this industry from my company, and mention the name of your company and see what comes up from that? What are the top benefits? What are the top benefits that healthcare providers using the information above? You can kind of tie it in. It usually builds off each other if you're like in ChatGPT or something else that you're utilizing. What are the top benefits that these companies or organizations will receive by working with me at XYZ company to be the solutions to these challenges? All right. You can drill down and ask for percentages and data information showing a percentage of change or growth or change or decline, whatever it may be. You can also go in and build off of any kind of new regulations, whether it be HIPAA compliancy or whether it be something else. It could be in attorneys' offices. It could be education. You name it. What are you working with the most? And start to build on that. Now, when you proactively then do a campaign, a calling campaign, a visit campaign, whatever you want to call that, when you proactively reach out to people in that industry, in that vertical market, and you're making sure that you're letting them know information, like calling them up and saying, hi, this is Melissa Whitaker from MWI. I wanted to reach out to you because I specialize in helping healthcare providers in our area, and looking at some of the biggest challenges that I've been seeing and hearing from our clients that they are experiencing tend to be around this. And I have a list of the biggest challenges that I'm seeing and hearing and or looking up. And then I'm asking them if they're experiencing any of those. And then I set an appointment to make sure whether it's right then and there on the phone, and or if it makes sense for me to schedule it in person if they're right in my area, and say, hey, I'd love to come and discuss this further with you. I'd love to share some ideas with you on what we're doing to help locations or organizations get past these challenges and be able to keep growing or moving or removing the bottleneck. I'd love to share some ideas with you. What would be a good time for us to do that? If I'm visiting in person, this day, this time or this time. If it's right then and there, capture the moment. Say, hey, do you have a few minutes? I'd love to know what these top challenges are you are experiencing. And I'd love to discuss some ideas around how we can help you through it. Now you're showing up in a different space. You're not showing up as a salesperson. And even if you own your own business and you're selling for your company, you don't want to just show up selling. You want to show up is a specialist, an expert, providing them with information, asking them questions, and then opening up the window for a discovery call. Okay? Whether the call's in person or on the phone, either one. And then that opens up the opportunities to see where that can go. All right? So we do need to utilize that at a deeper level. Now, any of you who've been through sales training with me in the past, we usually go over like Google Alerts, Google Industries. Well, some of those are still relevant. The Google Alerts are still working. Google Industries has kind of moved on. So I always tell people, what's the next step? The next step is using like ChatGPT and all the other tools that we're talking about in the AI to dive into some of these areas and make sure we're finding things, alerting things, and also asking for some key guidelines and advice as well on how we're moving that forward. The biggest thing is the research, faster research, better time management, credibility, showing up and letting them know you've done it, you've been there, and you've helped other organizations. This is critical to 2026. You need to make sure you're taking these steps. You need to make sure you're showing your experience. And even if you're new and you're saying, Melissa, I don't have tons of experience. I'm just starting off. That's okay. You can say, as an organization, we specialize in this. Here's what we are seeing as a company. If you feel more comfortable with that versus saying you as a person, because you're just starting off. So those are both fine. That's number 2. Number 3, are you focused on them or you in your conversations. Now, gang, I know when we're excited about what we have to speak to people out in the marketplace, about what we have to offer, how we can help them, we get so excited about saying things like, I can do this, or, I would like to ask you some questions. I would like this. Let's remove that. Let's remove that. The key thing, you guys, is we have to say things that are focused on the client, on the potential client. Say, hey, we can say something like, here are the things, like I mentioned before, that we're seeing. What are you experiencing? Share with me a little bit more about that. And then you could say things like, let's dive into that a little deeper. Can we have a quick chat right now about it? Or can we meet about this? And we can share ideas, things like that. But you want to be focused on them, their challenges, their pains. What is happening for them? What are their goals? This isn't new information, but it's retargeting, because too often we get stuck in the old pattern of everything's about what we want and what we can do instead of about them. What are you asking about them? It's about them. It's not about us. It's about them. It's not about us. Got to drill that in. Okay. So again, a quick review. There's 3 things to differentiate yourself here coming in the new year to really stand out from the crowd and be different in a very competitive marketplace where everyone is heightened in their competition and in their eagerness to help, but also to be able to win new deals and to be able to serve at our highest level for our ideal clients. Now, remember, number 3 top areas. Number 1, are you selling you? How are you different? Number 2, are you using AI tools as a tool to dive deeper and be more of an expert in your field and show up with more credibility? And number 3, are you focused on them, or are you focused on yourself more often in that talk track? Make sure you're focusing on them. So I hope this was helpful today. I know that you are eager to get out there, make things happen, feel alive with what you're doing. And I'm here to just remind you, you are amazing at what you're doing. And I know sometimes it doesn't feel like that. And maybe you have a sales manager or a director of sales or a VP of sales just breathing down your neck like, where's the results? Where's the results? And I'm here to tell you, you can do it. Don't let that deter you from the greatness that you have inside of you, of how you know you've always served your clients, and how you know you can continue to serve your clients, and how you can step up from the crowd and to make sure that you are getting the results that you need and you want, your director or your sales manager wants, and in the end, you will feel great because you're serving your clients at the highest level possible. I hope this helps today. I hope this is a little bit of encouragement. I believe in you. I know you can do it. It's just a matter of narrowing that down. Okay. And again, if you would like to have a quick conversation with me, feel free to reach out and I'll see what I can do to help you with a few ideas to be moving forward in the new year to make sure that you're starting off catapulting your results and feeling great about what you're doing. Talk to you soon.